Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Breaking down tonight's MLB main slate for tonight on DraftKings. I am going to try to get my cheat sheet video out later on in the day, but I don't have time to do it at this moment, so I'm just going to do kind of a walkthrough of the slate, get my thoughts and ideas out there, and that kind of helps me put my cheat sheet together after I talk about the slate a little bit. So anyway, before we continue though, if you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate that, and let's get into the slate. So pitcher today, I really want to prioritize getting Justin Verlander in my lineups. I don't know if a lot of people are going to do it because we have a core slate and they're going to want to load up on bats. And plus, they're going to see the matchup versus the Yankees, and they're probably going to freak out, especially what they did yesterday. But I think it's actually a really good matchup. The Yankees can hit fastballs all day long, but Justin Verlander throws hard and he throws, obviously fast. And the Yankees do struggle versus that. They struggle versus the high heat. They'll strike out a lot. So I actually really like Justin Verlander tonight. Last year, I did play him against the Yankees at home, which is the same exact scenario. It's a good pitcher's park. He went for 8 innings, 14 strikeouts, almost 40 fantasy points, and he gave up 0 runs. So I think he's in a fantastic spot. They're missing Stanton. They're missing a couple other guys like Andahar. So I think it's fine. I think it's going to be a good matchup. I think you can mow through the lineup and have a really nice night, maybe at a lower ownership too. So, and he's usually in the 11,000s, close to 12,000 price. We're getting him at like 10,400, I think. So I think that's a really good value for someone that can reach over 30 fantasy points tonight. And I don't really like the pitchers tonight. He's got the highest upside, and I think he's pretty safe. And I also like Eric Lauer going against the Giants. I mean, we just love lefties versus the Giants. We've been doing it all year. He already did well in this matchup before, and there's just nothing to be scared about in this lineup. I mean, their highest ISO hitter is Longoria. I mean, he's getting pretty old, and they have a 121 team ISO versus left-handed pitching. I mean, they don't strike out a ton according to this, but they will strike out a decent amount. And Posey's okay versus lefties, but other than that, this lineup sucks. I mean, there's just nothing to be scared of. But then if you really, he's 7,500, so he's kind of in the mid-range. But if you want to load up on bats, it's tough tonight because you got the core slate, and there's not really many good pitchers that are cheap. So I don't actually mind taking a stab at one of the some of the course pitchers tonight, actually. I think I would actually lean towards Teheran if you're going to go really cheap. But I really don't have a preference, but I don't mind Freeland or Teheran. But let's talk about Teheran. He sucks versus lefties. He's decent versus righties. He's got that 27 strikeout rate, and he's had a decent start to the year. But man, it's really tough trying to roll him out in cores. But he's 5,800. He's going to allow us to get in the Braves bats, which I prefer the Braves bats over the Rockies bats. So it makes sense for me to use Teheran over Freeland. And obviously, Blackmon scares me. I think Blackmon's a fantastic play tonight. I mean, probably could hit a home run. Wouldn't surprise me. But Dahl's going to be out, so that's something that he's got going for him. Dahl's obviously a really good hitter versus righties. So, and I believe he hurt I forget what he hurt, but I know he's not going to be playing today. And other than that, we got a lot of guys that strike out a lot. I mean, they got a 22% strikeout rate. Valakia strikes out a lot. Desmond, Story versus righties as well. So this lineup is much better versus lefties because, Arenado and Story. So I don't mind taking a stab at Teheran tonight. He's really cheap. He needs 12 points to get some value. I think he can do it. I know he's going to give up some runs. I'm not saying he's going to mow this lineup down, but I think he can get some strikeouts and give up a few runs. I think we can escape the day and stack the Braves up, and that would work well. And also just don't mind Freeland. I know it's in cores, and this lineup is terrifying, to be honest, but if you don't want to go with Teheran, I don't mind taking a stab at Freeland. Just know it's extremely dangerous, and I don't like it, really. But I understand if you'd like to do it, because he's better than Teheran, in my opinion. He doesn't give up a lot of power. He's pretty good. He was actually kind of worse away from Coors Field last year, looking at his splits. He gave up more home runs at Coors, but he gave up less runs overall. So I don't mind going Kyle Freeland. He's a pretty good pitcher. He's better than 6,200. So that's where I'm looking at a pitcher tonight. Just make sure to always check my comment section before the slate starts, because I do add plays in throughout the day because my mind changes. But anyway, let's talk about the bats really quick. I guess we can stay here. Actually, my number one stack tonight would be the Braves. Ozzie Albies crushes left-handed pitching. So does Josh Donaldson. Freddie Freeman, left and lefty. People see left and lefty and they get scared. I've been saying that all year. But Freeman can hit lefties. 221 ISO, good WOBA, doesn't strike out a ton, gets a good walk rate, and he hit a home run finally yesterday. So could be getting a nice little streak there. And Ronald Acuna is obviously probably going to be one of the top plays of the slate. Actually crushes left-handed pitching. Markakis, he's just not a strikeout guy, and he makes a lot of good contact, so I'm not scared of him either. Even the bottom of this lineup, John Camargo, or is it one? I don't remember his first name, but Camargo is much better versus lefties. And Flowers, he's a lefty specialist pretty much, and I really like him tonight. Catcher, I know he's going to be expensive though, but don't mind if you want to go tie. The whole lineup's in play, really. I don't mind it at all. And then I also like Oakland as my second favorite. Maybe my favorite because you're going to get some salary savings on that. But Cashner is bad. And we're going to be at Baltimore, which is a decent hitting park. The Yankees went off against them yesterday, and he just is not very good at all. He really struggles versus lefties, which I know this is a righty-heavy lineup, but he's not that good versus righties either. It's nothing to really be scared of. So some of the top plays that stand out to me, just obviously Grossman because he's leading off, so he's going to be cheap. He's not very good though, but I don't mind him leading off. Chapman's fine, Piscotty's fine, Chris Davis is obviously very fine. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a bomb today versus Cashner. Chris Davis has some insane power with righties on righties. But Kendrys Morales is a guy I want to talk about. He's kind of standing out to me. Versus Cashner, he's never whiffed, he's never struck out. I believe he's hitting 600 against him, and he has 3 home runs. So Kendrys Morales is going to really stand out to me tonight at first baseman. I think he's 4,300. So just a guy that's really standing out to me tonight. But really, this whole lineup's in play 1 through 5. It's a fantastic matchup. I also like the Seattle bats versus Homer Bailey. And I mean, that speaks for itself. We've been picking on Homer Bailey the past couple years. Not very good. Really gives it up to lefties and righties. But so really everyone's in play here. But really gives up a lot of power to lefties. So that's going to give me standout guys that are going to stand out to me are going to be Malik Smith, Jay Bruce, Narvaez, the guy we've been playing a lot this year, always cheap in a catcher and hitting decently high in the lineup. But the righties are in play too. I don't mind Haniger. Haniger's pretty good versus righties. Domingo Santana's fine. Edwin Encarnacion. So don't mind this. This is going to be a sneaky stack because people are going to go Athletics, they're going to go Braves, they're going to go Rockies. So I think Seattle's going to go under the radar. It's one of the highest Vegas totals, so I don't mind going with Seattle at all. And I also don't mind some of these KC lefties, which is not really much, but Alex Gordon. Felix Hernandez really struggles versus lefties. He's a little bit better versus righties, not the best, but versus lefty, he gets absolutely crushed. So Alex Gordon is going to stand out to as a nice value for me tonight, and Mondesi as well. He's not very cheap, but Mondesi and Gordon are going to stand out to me as really nice plays tonight. And I don't see them having much ownership. Well, Mondesi shouldn't, but Gordon might just because he's cheap. And then I also like the Oriole bats because it's a high Vegas total, and both of these pitchers in this game suck. Estrada's pretty bad, and so is Cashner. So a guy that's going to stand out to me is going to be Trey Mancini. So Estrada really gets crushed by right-handed bats. He's a big fly ball pitcher, gives up a ton of home runs. And if we look at Mancini versus Estrada's main pitch, he throws the fastball 47% of the time, actually 50% of the time versus righties. And Mancini is a righty, and he absolutely crushes the right-handed fastball. He's got 346 ISO, 51% hard hit, expected 616 WOBA, 459 WOBA. So I think Mancini is really standing out to me as a nice play. Dwight Smith Jr. is going to be fine. Obviously, he doesn't have a big sample size, but hey, he grades out pretty well to me. So I really like a couple of these Oriole bats, especially Trey Mancini being my favorite. I don't think those guys will have a lot of ownership at all. And a couple of the standouts on the Rockies to me are going to, obviously Charlie Blackmon stands. Okay, Charlie Blackmon obviously stands out as a fantastic play. I'd understand even if you want to stack this up. They do have the highest Vegas total, but I'm just a little bit interested in Teheran just because of his price tonight. It wouldn't make sense for me to want to play a bunch of Rockies versus him, but I totally get it. If you do want to play Rockies, I mean, I get it. Charlie Blackmon stands out. And David Dahl's not going to be playing, but Tapia, I think that's how you say it, Tapia, he should be filling in for him, and I think he's a fantastic play as well. He's decently cheap, I think 4,600, and he gets the nice lefty versus righty matchup, so I don't mind if you want to go with him at all. I know he doesn't have him in the lineup yet, but it should be updated soon. And really, that's all I want to talk about. I'm going to try to get my cheat sheet out later. I'll work on that in a little bit. It'll probably be out in the afternoon if I do get it done. But anyway, if you have any questions, you can comment below. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that, and good luck today.